So you're trying to find under the radar projects early and you want to know what separates a good project from a bad one? Well, I'm glad you're here because I have all the answers that you're looking for. I'm Adam, aka Mr. Koshi, and this is NFT Trading 101. Welcome to chapter 2 of the NFT Trading 101 series. As you can guess from the title of the video, today we'll be going through what I use to vet upcoming projects. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of these videos. Also check out the 0.1 ETH giveaway that I'm still running on Twitter, and make sure you follow me on there so you don't miss out on any of the alpha. The market today is super saturated, so it can be hard to find a good project, but you can come across life-changing opportunities if you're able to train your eye to find projects with good potential. And that's because the earlier you find these projects, the higher your chances are of getting a whitelist. And if you really vet these projects and you find a hidden gem, you can set yourself up for a potentially life-changing minting opportunity. So there's really only two parts of this formula, and it is very simple. Just find a good project early and then secure the whitelist. Finding a good project early is like getting an alley-oop, but you still need to go and make sure that you dunk it. So today we'll go through the first part of the formula, which is finding these projects, and then in the next video I'll teach you how to secure the whitelist. So here's my criteria for breaking down these projects in order. So it goes team, art, utility and roadmap, community engagement, mint price and supply. If a project is run by a proven founder or team, their chances of success are much higher. In return, this improves the odds of your investment paying off in the long run. So you really want to focus on the jockey and not the horse. Let's say I gave you two Formula 1 cars. They're both really good cars. But if I have Lewis Hamilton in car number 1 and you're driving car number 2, there's a very high chance you're going to lose, okay? So we really want to focus on the driver and not the car. So a typical team will usually consist of the founders, the artists, maybe some advisors. You will also have the rest of the staff, including the Discord mods, the collab managers, the community managers, the marketing team. First thing you want to look for is something called proof of work. You want to see if the founders or any of the team members have any experience, success, or knowledge in building businesses in Web 2 or Web 3 already. So let's look at Evereye because I think it's a really good example. Let's say you came across their page, right? Straight away, you want to go to their website, and then you also, if you read here, it says created by Screenshot Labs. So, okay, who's Screenshot Labs? Let's have a look. Go to their website. Team behind Game of Blocks. Check that out as well. So if we go to the Evereye and you go straight to creators, you can see straight away has worked on major productions as a lead animator, including One Piece, Dragon Ball Super, Broly, Jujutsu Kaisen, etc. So the artist has some experience in anime, so that's a good sign. You come back to Screenshot Lab. If you have a look at their website and you read through it for a little bit, you can see that it seems like they're a game development team and they have made a project before in 2018. Existing proof of work for the team behind Evereye, which is Screenshot Labs. So that's why you can sort of see how they've already delivered in the past, so there's a good chance that they're going to deliver again. So this project called Dual Darcels is another really good example of this. So if you come to the website for Dual Darcels and you just scroll down a little bit, you'll find the brief history of Darcel, and you can see that the artist has already collabed with Adidas, Louis Vuitton,
Hypebeast, Milan Design Week, Fashion Week, New York Times, Vogue, IKEA.
So there is a lot of proof of work existing here as well. So that's what you really want to look for. You want to see someone that's already has success in the past with any of the work that they've done. And as always, remember that nothing is guaranteed in this space. Just because a project has performed in the past doesn't mean that they'll perform again. Trading in general is just a game of odds. What you really want to do is improve your odds as much as possible. So keep that in mind. The next thing you want to look for is you want to check whether or not the team is doxed. Doxed pretty much just means if their identity is revealed. So if they're anonymous, that's sort of a red flag sometimes. A lot of the successful teams are doxed, but obviously there are some exceptions where some anonymous teams have launched successful projects. The reason why a team should be doxed, especially the founder, it shows a good sense of accountability. If my name is associated with the project and the project doesn't do well, that hurts my reputation. So for that reason, I would want that project to do well. Most of the time with undoxed founders in AMAs, whenever they asked why aren't you doxed, they don't really have a good reason. It's sort of a way to, just not have any accountability. Okay, now let's talk about art. Art is very important because it is the first impression that people have when they find a project. At the same time, art is very tricky because it is subjective, so it is hard to judge. When I say art, what I really mean is you want to find something in the art style that fits the current trend or meta. We did just have a anime style trend that sort of came back to life after the Azuki airdrop. As soon as that happened, a lot of anime style projects started to do well. Whenever a trend happens, there will always be a catalyst project. In this case, it was Azuki. Whenever Azuki does well, all the other anime projects will do well. But you have to remember, as soon as the catalyst stops performing, the rest of the project will also dump, and they'll also probably dump much worse than the Catalyst does. It's sort of very similar to the relationship that altcoins have with Bitcoin. Whenever Bitcoin does well, all the altcoins will pump as well. As soon as Bitcoin starts slowing down, all the altcoins dump, sometimes even worse than Bitcoin. So keep that in mind. Also, art is more important to some projects compared to others. If it is a profile picture, then obviously it is going to be displayed, so the art has to be good. But if it's something like a play to earn, then the art doesn't really have to be anything too crazy. A lot of successful play to earn projects just have shitty pixel art, and that's fine because they're not going to be displayed anywhere. It's just going to be part of the game. Another thing you want to keep in mind is the artist behind the artwork. It's the same proof of work concept that I spoke about before. If the artist has had success in the past with his artwork and it was received well, then there is a good chance that it will be received well once again once they do launch. Roadmaps, the project's plans for the future. I don't really like a lot of the roadmaps, to be honest. Most of them are just full of shit. A lot of projects will just sell you the vision and then they won't execute. So furthermore, this is why you have to really focus on a team. Find a team that has executed in the past and that will most likely execute again. A lot of teams will not execute their roadmap. So that's how I feel about roadmaps. Okay, now let's go into the different utilities that a project might have. So the first type of utility that we have is profile picture NFTs. Most of these are just a flex. They give you access to communities. They also are sometimes a store of value. The best example I can give you of a profile picture NFT is the Bored Ape Yacht Club. These are the most famous. You see them on the news everywhere.
Just got my first NFT. Oh, you did? What was it? I bought an ape.
With profile pictures as well, they will all have like these different traits on the side and they're all unique and different. The next type of utility that we have is the alpha passes. These give you access to alpha groups that are in closed discords. This type of alpha pass was popularized by Kosher Plug. As you can see, these are ERC 1155 tokens, so they're all exactly the same. There's only one item compared to Bored Ape Yacht Club and other profile pictures. Those are ERC 721. But yeah, these are the alpha passes and they pretty much just give you access to alpha groups. Alpha groups help each other make trades, make calls, and alpha passes will also provide a lot of value to the holders, like whitelists, giveaways, and things of that nature. The next type of project that we have is play to earns. EtherOrcs is a good example of a play to earn. Like I said earlier, most of these play to earns won't have really great art, it's just shitty pixel art most of the time. How these work is you pretty much get a bunch of these NFTs, you choose to stake them. After you stake them, it generates a token. For EtherOrcs, it generates a token called Zug, and then you can go ahead, after you accumulate a bunch of Zug, you can choose to sell those Zug in liquidity pools like Uniswap. At the moment, Zug is going for 55 US cents. The problem with most of these play to earns is that the profit is short-lived. They don't last very long most of the time. They do slow down after a while. So yeah, play to earns are a little bit different. That semi-passive income is sort of the utility that they provide. The next type of project that we have is whitelist marketplaces. So these essentially work similarly to play to earns, where you stake the NFT and then it gives you a token. The first project to really popularize this type of utility was the Habibis. So essentially you can stake the Habibis and generate the oil token, and then using the oil token you can go on their marketplace and buy whitelist for like upcoming projects. So the whitelist marketplace NFT that I use is called Satoshi Runners. These are their NFTs here. If you come to their marketplace, you can actually see that I just bought the whitelist for the Third Eyes Club using their Satoshi token. Okay, so the next thing you want to look for when you're vetting a project is the community and the engagement. High level of engagement means that there's high levels of interest in the project, and that will probably mean that the project will have more volume, and high volume is always a good thing. If a project has lower volume, that means that there's less sales happening and things are taking longer to sell. What that can lead to is people undercutting, and when people start to undercut to make sure that their NFT sells quicker, that can lead to some panic. And then when that happens, more people start undercutting and even more panic happens.
Now I'm panicking. Don't panic. No, I am.
And that's where I come in and buy all the NFTs. So you really want to look at engagement. The relationship between engagement and volume is what gives it its importance. So make sure that a project has some decent engagement, and you can check that on their Twitter or their Discord. If you're looking at their Twitter, make sure that it's not just followers. Followers can be bought. You want to have a look at the likes, the comments, retweets, make sure that they're getting good engagement levels. And then for Discord, just jump in their chat, see if people are active and having real conversations, not just bot conversations. See if there's a bunch of influencers in there, see if the founders and people in the team are always active. Now the last thing that you want to look for when vetting a project is the mint price and the supply of the project. Most projects in this market will be minting in the 0.05 to 0.1 range. On the more expensive side, some of the more hype projects will do 0.15 to 0.25. Very few projects will actually do a free mint, but sometimes these free projects are actually some of the best performing projects out there. I personally won't pay a lot for something if I don't think it's reasonable, especially if they have nothing to show for it, but sometimes that high price is justified just based off the hype. For example, Invisible Friends actually minted for 0.25 ETH, but no one really had a problem with that just because it was one of the most hyped projects at the time. As soon as it minted, it it started selling for 10 plus ETH, so everyone that paid 0.25 made a return on their investment. But if a shitty project did the same thing, you can probably assume that they just have ill intentions and they're just trying to make like a cash grab and take your money. For supply, I really shouldn't explain it. It's just basic economics: high supply, low demand; low supply, high demand. Most of these projects will have a supply of within 10,000 items. Not many projects will do more than 10,000. The lower the supply of something, the more valuable it is because it's more limited. So try to go for something on the lower side. Even 10,000 nowadays is pretty high. Pretty much covers everything that you need to look for when you're vetting an upcoming NFT project. Just quickly, I really wanted to shout out EC NFT. I referenced his "What Makes a Good NFT Project" document that he shared on Twitter when I was writing the script for this. Overall, he's just a very well-spoken guy. He shares a lot of free educational stuff on his Twitter and in his server, so make sure you check out EC NFT. I'll link the PDF in the description, and I'll also link his Twitter. So yeah, make sure you guys check him out. Shout out EC. If you made it to the end of the video, I have something to tell you. So come here. Like and subscribe to the channel, or you're not gonna make it.
You are a failure. You are a failure. You can never make it.
Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Well, I'm glad you're here because I have all the questions that you're looking for. Oh, what a smart one. Cars, but if I have Lewis Hamilton